Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Guys, the chicken is here. We are back today with another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, happy to say we made the top 500. It was close, and I think that's the latest I've ever actually played a Warship season. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and we also have the next season coming up, season 32, Commanding for Years. Interesting title. Let's break that down. And yeah, so guys, you haven't already. If you haven't heard me say it yet, I guess the time that this comes out, it is my birthday. The chicken is an old man at 30 years old. So the goal was to try to hit 30,000 subscribers today. I don't know if we're going to get there. We're still like 100 off or so it's a big ask. But if you watch the videos and you haven't already, I appreciate it if you hit that stupid button for me. All right, so that being said, let's go on. Oh, also, if you have to re-up your instant training, appreciate if you use the code chicken in the shop. I got to get in touch with somebody around the giveaway, but I do promise you that will be coming at the end of this month. For those of you guys that have thrown the code in there in the shop, if you want to see more on that, check out the Discord server. So I was too excited this morning. I had to check it out. So I've already gone through the end screen, but here it is, guys. Here it is. So it is official. We're gonna have to do a little bit of scrolling, and look at how close we were. So the entry point for the top 500 was at 23 and 97 stars. This was really cool because Shish put out a video a few days ago kind of predicting where the top 500 would be at, and that was really helpful to give me and everyone else a good idea of where you needed to place, and it ended up being right on exactly what he said. High 23, low 24, but the general consensus was if you hit 24 you were safe, and I was lucky enough to get on a nice little win streak towards the very end there, and I was at 23 and 88 stars, which if I it was funny because I considered staying right there. I was like 23, 88, that's pretty good. If I lose this one, I'll probably be right on the edge and be on the outside of the top 500, but I wanted to get to rank 24. That's always typically the goal, but yeah, I pushed one more battle and we were able to come away with it, and it worked out really well. So I'm super happy with our finish, and I think we finished like 404 or something like that. Yeah, 404. So 24 and 5 stars, and look at how close this is. Like that's 10 spots almost. 10 or 15 spots with the same the same amount of stars, and it just comes down to the win percentage at that point, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, so we're going to talk about the season, and let's go into here. So in total 677 battles fought, 347, 318, and 12 draws. A lot of draws for me this season. Cheating chicken confirmed, but yeah, so that was the highest rank, was 24, so I'm happy with that. And I don't know where we finished in Canada. Canada, like I said, has gotten super competitive. Apparently this has something to do with the front lines coming out and a lot of people switching their location on their app store to Canada to download that game. So yeah, I saw someone mention that recently, so that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, so that's where we ended up. Now let's talk about the season a little bit. Unfortunately, I can't show any replays, but yeah. So I was talking a little bit about this on Op Destroy's stream last night, but I felt like there was some really good things that happened this season, some good things that we can take away, and hopefully Supercell can take away and bring back. And that's a cool statue, lad. I really like that. And hopefully Supercell can, take a look at some of these things and add them into more seasons. So right off the bat, coming out of the gates, I feel like that was one of, if not the best openings to warships that we've seen. It was definitely more friendly to free-to-play players that don't have instant training because your troops lasted a longer time, and typically it wasn't like a fizzle meta. It was more of a base race, which is better for instant training for the most part. So then from there, we had our hero right off the bat. We had that hilarious Everspark glitch, which I didn't think was a big deal. A lot of people made a big fuss about it, but at the end of the day, it switched your upgrades around between Eversparks and mechs. But that was Supercell that wanted to fix that because, well, when you had 8 Eversparks loaded, or however many was 8 boats loaded with 8 Eversparks or whatever it was, the game just crashed. So obviously they didn't want that to be the player experience when you open the new season. So to fix that, they had to make some adjustments, and it ended up screwing up the upgrade paths. But we had so many tokens this season that it didn't make a huge difference. I mean, that was kind of a negative point. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, but so right out of the gate, it was an easier kind of start for those of you that don't use instant training. That being said, as we progressed throughout the tree, I felt like it's got to be something that's really hard to nail down. But this season, it had that, like that. We had the constant flow of progression, which I think is so important to warships. The one thing that puts people off, I find, is when it gets really grindy and you're upgrading and unlocking stuff, but you're not really moving forward with it. I felt like this season, it definitely had more opportunities to push. Typically, how we look at the tech tree and the warship season, it's like, okay, we want to get to XYZ spot because that's going to push us ahead. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. What was cool about this season is there was multiple paths that you could take, and they were all viable in their own way, depending on what you wanted to do. So I mean, warriors had their time, seekers had their time, rocket choppers had their time. There's a lot of different avenues you could go, and depending on how well that you were able to make those work, it gave you a fighting chance to be competitive with different heroes. Bullet was in the meta, Spark was in the meta, Kavan of course was in the meta at the end. I think it really came down to if you're able to take one of those other paths and push it at the correct time versus getting to the end of the tech tree like I did. Like I kind of played it a little bit more safe in a way, because I knew that the double building health at the end was going to be our big advantage, because I had a decent amount of tech starting the season. So was able to make that work. But yeah, so like I said, overall that was the biggest thing to me. We had that constant progression. It didn't feel like we got stuck. Now there were definitely points. I was at 21 for almost a week. And it was hard to really pull away from the pack and get ahead, but everyone else was also in that situation. And I think that's just that's just warships. Like there's going to be times where it's like that, and you just have to be able to know when that is, so you're not banging your head against the wall pushing for no reason, and just pump the brakes, collect your chests, don't go crazy. And it just comes down to being able to know where those spots are, and when it's the right time to push and when it's the right time to take a step back, which is good at the same time too, in a way, because I mean, you don't want to always be in the state of if I'm playing, I'm progressing, because then it just comes down to who has the most time to play, right? And that's not really fair, and it's not really fair or fun either in the long run. So we're gonna get some VP pushing going on the other channel, guys. That's gonna be Chicken Gaming. If you guys want to check that out, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think the first video we put out, we scrapped all our statues, and I don't know if we scrapped them, actually. I gotta check. But yeah, we're gonna change up the statues. It's gonna be a fun series. It's gonna be a fun series, a little throwback to the main base. And we'll really try to highlight that as we go forward. And it's all pretty well going to be posted on the Chicken Gaming channel if you guys want to check that out. Just an easy way to separate the content a little bit. And so what else were we going to talk about? Commanders in Control. We're at the end of the video. I forgot to talk about it at all. I honestly, the reason I didn't talk more about it is like I have no idea where this is going. It's not Commanders in Control. Let me double check. Before I get a little bit too overboard here. Commanding for years. The last one was Commanders in Control. So commanding for years. I don't really know what that means, but the only thing that stands out to me is it's got the word commanders in there again, kind of, right? So it's like, maybe it's going to have something to do with opening up the tech tree choices, making them more public. Commanding for years. I don't know. It's really kind of a stretch, I guess, but it feels like commanding for years, to me, if I was to take a guess, would mean that you know, we're going to have more say. Maybe we'll be able to vote on certain tech tree nodes, things like that. Like we see they've been recently doing with the like the temporary gunboat abilities and the proto troops. We've been able to vote in game, which is really cool for those. So I'm really not too sure what this could mean, but I want to know what you guys think. So let me know. I'm sure you guys have some great ideas down below in the comment sections. Yeah, and I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for it because last season there was a lot of hype. It was a lot of fun, and I'm hoping we can just build on that moving forward and you know, get because Warships was awesome. I love the game. It's so much fun. It really is, and you know, yeah, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of time consuming. But when you get that nice trophy at the end of the season, it just makes all of it worthwhile. So my Wi-Fi is a little bit slow in here today for some reason. So we should have 5. Yeah, there we go. 5 seasons, top 500. Very cool. And yeah, I still haven't swapped the trophies yet, but we got a lot to we got a lot of stuff that we can make over here. So guys, always thank you so much for watching. That is going to wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Check it out. Back.